What's up, everybody? You are tuned into season 2 of the Elks Call. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X,
And I'm Catherine, aka Even Elks.
and today we have a very special guest, wide receiver number 87 for the Edmonton Elks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Geno Lewis.
What's
Eugene,
up,
how you
guys?
doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank y'all for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for being on the show today. Before we went live, you said that you're out in Montreal. I think we're dealing with some similar weather. What kind
Pretty
of snow you
wild
got
out
out
there.
there?
You know what's crazy? So I always pay attention to the weather in Edmonton also because I just want to compare it sometimes. Like, and I've been seeing like the weather was basically pretty good out there like this whole time. Like, it ain't been a lot of snow. It's like, it ain't really been in too many negatives from what I've heard, but like I don't know. In my mind, I'm feeling like it should be colder in Edmonton right now, and I should feel a little better.
You know what? I was online today and somebody said, okay, now it's time to put all your Christmas lights back on to see how it should have looked like in Christmas because
Right, right.
Edmonton was dry all the month of December.
No, exactly. We had Montreal weather in Edmonton for
Yes.
once.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, it was crazy too, and I was getting my car fixed like during the time and everything, so it was just like, I had to do a lot of running around, but we got it done. Though.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. Like speaking of that weather, we want to make sure everybody stays safe out there, especially with this
Jeez.
beautiful balmy -30 rolling in here to Edmonton. So
Yeah.
plug in the cars and turn on your lights and all that.
It's going to get ugly out there.
Oh,
Right.
exactly. And like that snow, our schedule is also stacked. So let's quickly go through this schedule. Uh, First up, we're gonna open up with the more you didn't know with Geno Lewis. We're gonna talk to Geno about his life on and off the turf, and then as well, we're gonna take a little look at 2024 and look forward to a good season. Then after that, we're gonna give you an Edmonton sports update, followed by some transactions, and then a very big fan forum today. That's where we talk about our hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks and the CFL as a whole. Make sure you blow up the herd chat to ask questions and to get your comments on the show, much like John Kirby in the herd chat right now, questioning my allegiance to the Packers. Scout Packers guy. The
Wow.
number 12, Aaron Rodgers is a good
Oh.
quarterback. I mean, he's looking like he's looking a little silly in the media nowadays, but
But
That's
he plays for New York now.
yeah, exactly. So I don't have to like him anymore. That's there you go, right? You can go wherever you want with that one.
Yeah.
So before we get into the more you didn't know, we'd like to give a big shout out to everyone who is tuned in tonight on Shotgun Sports Network, or if you're listening in on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're listening on TuneIn, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts, super thankful that you guys are tuning in. Thank you. Now, we're going to kick off this season 2 with The More You Didn't Know, where we interview Eugene Lewis. So be sure to get your questions into the herd chat so we can get them onto the show. Let's get this
Yes.
started.
Yes. So the first question that I have, I know you say that you're in Montreal, but when you actually do come to Edmonton, how do you
Yeah.
like it? What do you like about the city?
Yeah. So I definitely say this like, um, Edmonton is a very from coming from Montreal, it's a lot slower. But I think like at some point in your life, like it needs to be like for me, I needed that. Like I needed to slow down in life because I lived in New York before, which is probably the worst situation I ever did in my life. I'll never do that again. And then coming to Montreal, it was like it was slower than New York, but in Canada, it's still a faster city. Like if that so it's like um I like Edmonton. Like Edmonton, like for one, I think the food is solid. I think the how they set it up, like how the Rogers Centers and the Ice District. I like how the District is set up. If you go into the South Side, like going over the bridges, like I think the scenery is beautiful. Like the scenery of Edmonton, like when you going into the city and like you kind of seeing everything and all the water and stuff. It's beautiful, man. We actually did at one point in time. We had a team bonding, and we took like scooters around the city.
Nice.
Yeah, like now take it, mind you, I didn't know that like you could take the scooters and bikes, and there's like the elevator thing that goes like
Yeah.
on the mountain. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Nuclear.
yeah. So I was seeing new stuff. Like it was good just to see a new part of the world because I haven't really been like on like in the Mountain West or like just the West Coast like that in my life. Like a lot of my family's on the East Coast, so I think it's a great experience, and I think there's a lot of potential in the city of Edmonton.
Nice.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
so that's interesting. Like the western to eastern Canada, right? You finally got to experience that move.
Yes, I did, and I think the main thing for me is like well, Edmonton. The crazy thing about Edmonton is like during like the summer and everything, the sun doesn't go down till like 10 o'clock at night. it's like you're like waiting for the sun to go down, and you like I don't really know what time it is, and then like at some point in time like it switches, and then 4 or 5 o'clock is dark. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes like the days would just go so fast for me. It would just go so fast.
Yes. Yes, it is definitely an adjustment. I also come from a big city. I was born and raised in Mexico City. So
Okay.
moving from that to Edmonton was like, what kind of farm is this? You know, like this whole city is a farm.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment, but hopefully we've been treating you right, and yeah, we truly.
Oh yeah. Like overall myself, like I've had a lot of great experiences. Like honestly, my favorite experiences so far in Edmonton was I was doing some team events where I had to work at Tim Hortons, like in the drive-through, like like doing that and like seeing how much the people really appreciate the organization. Like, and it's crazy because I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'll tell you, like I was getting both sides of it. Like I was getting some people that were like, "Oh, go Elks," and then I was getting some people that were like, "Oh, you aren't the Eskimos, so I don't want to do it." Mind you, I came here as an Elk. I never knew anything as the Eskimo, so it was kind of like I can't really say nothing to you. I don't know. You gotta feel how you gotta feel, but go Elks though. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but go Elks though. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Elks. You know?
I
Love it.
love it.
Flex on him with a little Elks.
Yeah.
So when you're not in season for the Elks, we got to know what's the day in the life of Eugene Lewis in the off season.
Yeah, so like after the season, like for the first month or so, I definitely take some time off just to recover my body. Still take care of myself. Still make sure I'm doing the things I need to do. But usually after the season, there's a big holidays are coming around, so I usually go back home to Philadelphia and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, visit my family. I got 7 brothers and sisters, so I got a big family that I really appreciate. I take care of a lot of people, and really just I kind of get those things and get that time with my family and my friends that I usually don't get during the season. Especially being in Edmonton now, it's a lot further where I'm from. You know what I mean? So like when I was in Montreal, people were able to drive up and come to the games and stuff. But being in Edmonton, it's a little further from home, and it's not as easy for everybody to get there. A lot of my friends and my brothers and sisters, they have kids now too, so it just makes it a little more harder. But other than that, I'm in Montreal training. I'm exploring. I try to go on a vacation every year. I take my mom. My mom's birthday is actually in 3 days. Her birthday is July.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Birthday. 14th. Yeah, and then my dad's birthday is actually tomorrow, and then my little brother's birthday was on the 8th, so it's like back to back. Yeah, and then I take my mom on a trip, usually for her birthday. Her favorite place now is Miami. I took her a couple years ago for her first time, so like she loved it there. And then next month I'll be in Florida training for good for the next 2 months. Getting ready for the season. I'm a big palm tree guy. I love palm trees. I have trouble with the snow sometimes. Like avoid it. I like to avoid it. Yeah, but unfortunately, there's not really many places in Canada that has palm trees. So it's just you got to deal with that sometimes. But I'm a big Florida guy, man. I love Florida. I love being down there. My spirits go up, and I just work even harder.
That's awesome. Well, and we do hear about, a lot of, especially CFL players going down south and doing that off-season training. I mean, you go down south and you don't have to deal with this snow. Right?
Who wouldn't want that? I want that, and I have no training to do whatsoever.
And one of the main things that I do, I play basketball a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. I know for receiver, from our position, there's so much translation from basketball to football when it comes to it. So that's one of the big things that I do too. Great conditioning too, great cardio. You know what I mean? So
nice. We'll touch base on that. We'll ask that question probably coming up here.
Yes.
Actually,
we get into that. So how about it in season? Do you have what's it like? A day in the life of Geno Lewis in season. Do you have rituals, superstitions, anything that you absolutely must do before a game?
Before a game, yes. If you're talking about before a game, yeah. Now, before practices and stuff like that, I think that's kind of like you got to get your mind every day ready for practice. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's different when you go into the game. You worked all week, worked hard all week for the game. But before the game, I go to Tim Hortons and I go to Booster Juice. I go to Booster Juice. I get two lemon ginger turmeric shots. Then I go to Tim Hortons. I get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, a bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant, chocolate glazed donut, and an apple juice. And depending on the month, if it's October, they have the pumpkin spice. It's crazy. Out of this world. The pumpkin spice glazed donut.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. So that October is like the only time where like I gotta change the chocolate glazed donut to the pumpkin spice glazed donut.
Right. It's the Geno Lewis special. That's what they should call it.
The Geno spooky special. I call it the spooky special in October.
Hey, and you know what?
I love it.
You're usually building up for November at around that point, right? So we're gonna get on that train.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. And mind you, around October and November, they have cranberry ginger ale. It's out of this. Listen, I'm telling y'all, cranberry ginger ale will change your life. I'm telling
you. I'm taking those tips for sure. Taking those tips.
You're gonna have that whole special.
Yeah.
Got to. We expect, at the Elks Herd, expect something out there on the social medias for sure.
I'm sure about the lemon ginger turmeric.
It's so good.
Is it?
It's so spicy, and it's like and it wakes you up. It's just like a boom. Like I gotta wake up now. It's like, how some people that's how coffee is for them. Coffee doesn't really do nothing for me. Like I need a ginger shot that's gonna get me going. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Might have to try it.
Might
have to.
I am definitely trying it. Definitely.
Yeah. It's enough booster juices to try, so you could do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Especially around Edmonton. All right. So you were talking about basketball there, in your off season, you like to play a little bit of basketball. If you weren't a football player, would you be playing basketball, or what would you be doing?
Well, I mean, luckily for a lot of people, basketball, if it was possible, I probably would be playing both. I always tell people, listen, I'm about to get connected with the Stingers, in Edmonton. I was already connected with the Montreal Alliance. You know what I mean? I got my CEBL ball. They gave me a signed one and all that out here. So I went to the Stingers game when I first got out to Edmonton, and that stadium is beautiful. The atmosphere is beautiful. The people, they actually got a lot of people coming out there. I think it's a beautiful thing that they're doing in basketball. But so for like just some background, like for me, like my family is a basketball family. Like my dad played basketball. He got drafted in the NBA draft in 1989. My aunt, she went to Pitt University. When she was at Pitt University, though, the WNBA wasn't out yet, so she obviously didn't get the opportunity. But she broke the record. She has the most assists ever for a female at Pitt University, and she has a couple other. My sister, she played college basketball at Iona College in Seton Hall, and then she went and played professional basketball in Spain and Puerto Rico. And she's younger than me too, so I taught her a lot of everything that she knows. But anyways, But yeah, like my whole family is like a real competitive basketball family, and I was always a big basketball player in my family too. Like it was just basketball for me. In basketball, you can really see like how athletic somebody is, and you can really see like how they can move. Like and for me, it was just kind of like this is the difference between basketball and football. In football, being a receiver, I gotta hope a lot of things go right. I gotta make sure that the line blocks for the quarterback. I gotta make sure that the quarterback sees the right reads. I gotta make sure the other person inside of me he runs the right route. And I gotta run the right route. Basketball, hey, let me have that. I need right. Yeah, let me have that right now. So it's a different mindset. It's a different mindset. But if I wasn't playing football, like if you asked me if I would play another sport, I definitely would be playing basketball. And I'll say this for a sleeper, I probably would be playing volleyball too. I wish I would have. I wish that's one sport I wish I could actually have played back. I could have, but I just thought it wasn't cool. Like
did you play it in school? Did you play volleyball in high school or anything?
No, and that was the thing. Like in high school, I used to have. So in high school, I only played football and basketball. Like I was just like mainly focused on them. But I used to have like my soccer coach, like the soccer coach out of high school. He'd be like, "Listen, just come play goalie. Like you got long arms, you can jump.
Yeah.
You don't even have to come to practice. Like just come to the games and play goalie." And I was just like, "Yeah, nah. I don't see that." And on top of that, I used to see how hard the people kick those soccer balls, and I'm like, I know they got the thick gloves on and that, but like this is my money makers. Like these are like these are my gold members. You know what I'm saying? So, and then even volleyball, like they asked me to play that. They're like, listen, you could literally dunk every play. Like you can dunk and just spike the ball on everybody, da da da. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird sport during that time when I was coming up as a kid. Like it was just like that's not a popular sport.
It's not cool. It's not cool enough.
Yeah,
not cool enough. I guess I was too at the time. I was too cool. I was too cool for it. You know?
but volleyball isn't it? Like I played it in elementary. I was on a dynasty team there. Dynasty in the city of.
Okay.
Hey man, Fort McMurray represent Greeley Road School. We killed it back in the day, but it's interesting, right? Like it's such a fun sport to play and spiking the ball and how you set it up and serving. Like you're smashing a ball around over a net, right?
I don't know. I was never an athlete, and those balls hurt. So.
Oh, that's good.
Before we go into our last question, I do want to take a little bit of time to just bring up some of the questions that our viewers are asking. I have big fan 2019 John. He is asking, Geno Lewis, what are you looking forward to in the postseason in the NFL this weekend?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So I'm an Eagles fan.
Nice.
I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a big Eagles fan. Always since day one. My favorite player of all time ever is Brian Westbrook. For those who don't know, I'm looking honestly. I want to see how they're going to do. It hasn't been looking too good the last couple of weeks, but I always say this: the regular season doesn't matter once you get into the playoffs. All you ask is to get in the playoffs, and anything can happen at that point in time. I'm gonna say this. I know this probably might be like very random, but I'm very, very eager to see the viewing results of the Chiefs-Dolphins game because it's on Peacock and you have to pay for it to see it, which I think is crazy. I've never heard of that ever in my life. I feel like a lot of people were saying because Taylor Swift's going to be there, so they know people going to really tune in and all that. But it's just like, listen, man, you shouldn't a playoff game and that game. You talking about that specific game? Tyreek Hill coming back to Arrowhead and they play. Come on, you got to put that on national TV.
That's a primetime game right there. What are you doing putting that on Peacock or putting it on a paywall, basically putting it behind a paywall? I completely agree. That is prime time, man.
Hopefully it completely crashes so that they don't have to do that again.
Well, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I just say this right now. I think the team that's playing the best and that looks scary right now are the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is playing at a different level right now. I think he does get the respect that he deserves, but he doesn't at the same time. I think a lot of people criticize him, for his play, but if you look at how many wins he has to losses in his career right now, obviously the next step he got to take is winning playoff games. So once he does that, it's the sky's the limit. But I'm excited to see that. And I'm rooting for the Packers this week.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, man.
They have to.
Yeah, you got to
have
crush them, right? Who them
Got
boys?
it.
It's going to be the Packers this weekend.
Oh,
That's who we talking about.
You go
This is the only thing I'm going to say. The Packers are still thinking about I know the Cowboys are still thinking about that Dez Bryant drop catch that they had some years back. They still thinking about that. That's the only thing. That's the only reason they kind of still mad about that. And I'm not mad at them, but I'm happy. I was happy it happened. I can't stand the Cowboys. If there's one team I can't stand, it's the Cowboys, and that's what
Eagles,
it is.
right?
Yeah,
Eagles.
Eagles
You've seen
fan.
the documentary.
Yes.
Kathy's a little bit new to the world of sports, right? So she didn't quite get the rivalry until a couple of years ago. I showed her the
Until I heard all about it.
yeah. And then every time the game was on, I'm like, look, it's a Dallas versus Philadelphia Eagles game. You got to watch this. It's going to be a good game every time.
Totally.
We do have another question from Ryan Messer. He is asking, having attended Penn State in Oklahoma, what are your thoughts on Nick Saban's retirement?
Hey, it's actually crazy. I seen this in the car not too long ago when I was with my cousin. Man, I think honestly, I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion of what I think is happening. I think Nick Saban has come to the conclusion or realized that before like social media and before NIL deals, he could win off of just recruiting. Like Alabama, there's no all the NIL, nothing to take everything away. Alabama,
the name, right?
Just the name. Now you got to think he has to battle with coaches. Just say Lincoln Riley at USC, right? I know they had their little situation. Shout out Lincoln. He was my offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, but now you got to think. You have to convince kids to come to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or they can go to Hollywood, California, and get an NIL deal. For some kids, it's like, okay, Hollywood or Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's no disrespect to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but it's not Hollywood. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's tough, man. And I think he's just come to the point where he can't coach like he used to. He can't coach the same way that he used to coach older guys. Like the new era and the new generation. It's more of a sensitive era now. Like a lot of things you can't do as a coach, a lot of things you can't say as a coach. I just think it's his time. Or what he could be doing, pulling the Urban Meyers, and I'm going to take a year or two off, and then I'm going to go over here and do the whole thing all over again. So he just might need a break. He might just need a couple years. He might need a break.
Well, exactly. And
just a little sabbatical.
And I think we do know, too, that he's not necessarily an NFL quarterback. He's a guy that, has to work with the younger players, the college players. He can't really handle, a full room of grown men.
It's different, man. It's different. Once you go from college to professionals, the money thing, it changes everything. It changes everything now because you gotta think it's players in the NFL that's making more money than their coaches. So you basically like you could tell some of the people what they do, but they're gonna tell you like, I make more money than you right now. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and sometimes it can get like that. But hopefully you hope like it doesn't. But it just kind of depends on everybody's situation, honestly. But I think it's sad though, man. I think it's definitely, it takes away from the college game. I think Nick Saban is up there. He's one of the best to ever do it. Like, and he showed it. His consistency. His patience and just everything that he went about. I know a lot of people say this and that about him, but one thing you can't ever take away from Nick Saban is that he is a winner. Like he is a winner. He has won the big games. He's lost them before, but consistently he was in the big games.
GOAT status. GOAT status for sure. Before we get to our last question here, Randy McDonald in the herd chat. The best thing about the Cowboys, there's nothing. Correction, it's great when they lose. So
Yes,
like the one.
that's it. When the Cowboys lose,
It's
my
a good
week is complete. Like that's the cowgirls, man. Listen,
I love it. I love it.
Love it, love it. But yes, our last question. We've made it to 2024, and the Edmonton Elks have a huge season coming up, with so many things. The 75th season celebration, so on and so forth. So what are you looking forward to this year?
I mean, my main goal every year is looking towards a Grey Cup, bringing this city a Grey Cup, bringing this organization a Grey Cup, and just honestly, if I'm also just coming back to like everything else, like I really want to bring a season to the fans that they deserve, and that that just shows that we really do work hard. Like I know the last 2 seasons that has happened. I know the season that I was here last year, the 4 games and all that, but I want people to come to the home games and they're excited every time to come here. Like every time they come there, somebody's doing something spectacular. The kids are enjoying themselves. Like I said, one thing I will say about Edmonton, regardless, is the fans are very, very loyal. Like regardless, and the kids are very, very loyal. Like it was a lot of kids all the time. I did a couple of camps like with so many kids who some of the kids didn't care about the wins and losses. But then it was crazy because you had some kids who were like 6 and 7, like, hey, do you guys know that y'all finally won the first home game in such years? I'm like, you're like 7 years old. Like, how do you even know this? Like, but you know what? That just goes to show me that your parents are real fans, because you wouldn't notice unless you're paying attention to it. So, but yeah, it was so crazy sometimes. Like the questions you would just hear from kids, like when I was going to schools and stuff, like. But like, yeah, so like, when are you guys going to win? And like, that was when like we were like 0-8, 0-7. I'm just like, well, right now I'm not playing, but I'm trying to figure out how we going to win. Don't worry, So, I'm really looking, like I said, to get out there with my boys, man, the team, just letting everything settle in, and we're gonna give everything we got for the city.
Oh, for sure, and like we're obviously stoked to hear about that, but. Even ending last year and seeing you, we saw you at the at the very last moments of the Edmonton season at home, and I mean, yeah, like it was kind of surreal for us. We're down there, we're saying hi to people, we're saying hi to Mondo, and we see you, and you're like, "Listen, man, we're gonna win next year." And a lot of the players came up to us with the exact same sentiment, like we're giving everybody a high five, for completing the season. We're still happy. We got a home win, which was nice. Obviously you guys were expecting more, so were we, but that's sports. We were just thankful that you guys put on a heck of a show once again for another season. So that's why we were down there, was to give people high fives and stuff like that. We saw you and you're like, man, this isn't happening again next year. And you were like frustrated about it in that moment. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I appreciate, not only about you, but a lot of members in that locker room and on the Edmonton Elks. You guys, you're still resilient, but that frustration, you guys got to sit with it for the off season or whatever. And you guys come back and build back stronger. And Taylor Cornelius, yes, I know he was released. I talk to Taylor Cornelius quite a bit. Why? Because he did that effort in the off season to build up and to work on his game. So, same thing for what you're doing right now. You're going to be building up. You're going to be coming back to training camp, which we're extremely stoked about. We can't wait to get back into Commonwealth Stadium, but it sucks that we're 5 months away. But and then with the latest news as well, now you have McLeod Bethel-Thompson coming into the quarterback room alongside Trey Ford. Somebody said that you've got to be feasting your eyes. I gotta assume that's true.
Yeah, so I seen that. So I think one of my old teammates from Montreal put like, yeah, I'm feasting my eyes for 2K this year. So listen, I tell people this all the time. I can get 2K and I can get 2K. I know I can. I know it's possible. And a lot of people got to understand this too, like my history, and like again, like a lot of people got to do their homework on my past. So it's like, yeah, I know a lot of people, are trying to figure out the whole situation, the MBT and the Trey Ford thing and everything. And I tell people all the time, you got to understand, like, when I was in Montreal, this same situation happened with Vernon Adams Jr. and Trevor Harris. And it was the same thing. You know, nobody really said nothing to Vernon. You know what I'm saying? It happened. That was the decision that the upstairs and all them wanted to make. And mind you, I'm a receiver. So you got to understand, like, I'm catching from whoever is throwing me the ball. Like, so it's like I can't pick and choose, like, oh, I want this. It's like, hey, whoever they pick, that's what I got to go with. And my job is to whoever is throwing me the ball, I'm going to help you be the best quarterback that you can possibly be. That's it. Like, that's my main goal. I'm here to help everybody. Any quarterbacks that I have ever played with, they'll tell you the same thing. And people got to also understand one thing about that situation, though, when with Trevor Harris and Vernon Adams is Vernon, like, that's my best friend. So I seen the development from him, you know, that he learned from Trevor, like, when he was there. Like, Vernon really, he was already established, like, you know, but it was still some of the little things that he had to figure out, he had to learn. And I remember having conversations with him after the fact, like, yeah, man, like, as much it was hard to do, obviously, because we competitors and only one quarterback can play. He, like, I really learned so much, like, you know, from Trevor, and, you know, just mentally, some of the things that he do physically, and, you know, just emotionally, just keeping yourself together. And mind you, now you see him in BC and you see how he's doing, and you see it all comes together. Like, it's patience and consistency, and it's just about having the people believe in you and giving you the opportunity to, you know, to show your best potential. So I look at it like this, man. Like, look, Trey's going to be great, and he's going to keep doing what he's doing. And MBT is also going to be a great mentor for him. Like, MBT has been in this league. He's been in the league for a while. He's been doing this for a while. He's won some great cups. So he brings a different dynamic of leadership, you know, because I don't have a great cup, and I'm going to get one. We're going to get one. And you know, like I say, they gotta work together as a team, and they have to understand that we are one team, and they got to come together. But it's going to be, I think it's going to work out perfectly fine. I think the mindset that MBT is coming in with, and, you know, just the grinder that Trey is, you know, listen, you done been through this and been through that. It can't get too much harder. So just keep grinding until, you know, until you get to where you got to get to. Like, I remember being on practice roster basically my whole first year. It was people that said that, yeah, you might be a 2 or 3 receiver in this league, Gene. Like, and now I'm looking at them like, yeah, so how you feel about that? Like, yeah, you told me I was gonna be a 2 or 3 receiver in the CFL. Okay. But it's okay, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about I don't have to say what's understood don't need to be said. And no matter what's going on, no matter how hard, no matter how tough or whatever obstacles I gotta go through, I'm gonna figure a way to make it work. And that's my main goal. Whatever I gotta help, however I gotta help MBT, however I gotta help Trey, I'm trying to do whatever we can to win a Grey Cup, and that's the main goal.
Oh, exactly. And like, it was extremely refreshing to hear MBT saying that he's coming here to get a ring. Like, he came here, and that's his number one objective. And even Ryan Messer here in the herd chat, MBT is about to go off. That man is a beast. RIP New Orleans Breaker. So Ryan Messer of Shotgun Sports, he was actually on the sidelines and talked with him quite a bit last season, covering the Birmingham Stallions. Got to see him a couple times there, and, you know, Ryan Messer was absolutely stoked that he was joining the Edmonton Elks because he's such a great guy and has such a great mindset. So, you know, I completely agree. And my favorite example is Michael Riley to Nate Rourke and how that development worked. Having a great mentor and having that kind of experience, especially in a quarterback room, it's never a bad thing. Let's just put it
never a bad thing. It's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. And the thing about it, people just got to understand that, you know, everybody got a job to do. Like, you know, and it's actually, it is crazy too, because I heard MBT, he was saying this, like, see, when I was in Montreal, y'all got to understand too, like, I couldn't stand Toronto. Like, I couldn't stand Toronto. I couldn't stand nothing about them. Like, I always looked at them a certain way. And you know, MBT, even I would usually have super good games against Toronto most of my career. So it was like, he would come to me though, and he would say after the game, like, hey man, like, I just want to play with you one time, bro. Like, if I could imagine just like playing it one time, bro. Like, and you know, sometimes when you do that type of stuff, you speak it into existence. And,
Yeah.
just years on years on years, you never know what can happen at the end of it all, And like I said, he led the CFL his last year in passing. He led the USFL last year in passing. So, it speaks for itself, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm here, man. I'm here to help. I'm here to help whoever we got to do, just like I was last year. The same thing last year when I first came, and like I said, TC, Trey, Doogie, whoever's there. Like I'm here to help y'all. I tell my quarterbacks all the time, I'm here to make us look good and to get you paid. Like that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to get you paid.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. No, man, no, and I mean 2024, it's gonna be an extremely exciting season. Geno, we know you're a busy guy, and we know it's a little bit late over there in Montreal as well. So, man, we can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. This was an awesome convo. Thank you so much.
Oh, listen, I want to say one more thing too. I want to say one more thing about what you said, what you were asking me about. What do I expect for the 2024 season for the fans? Like this is, I also want to say this, like you know how you were saying, like everybody was happy that we won a home game and we did this. See, now this year, the standards need to be up higher, and we have to put those up higher for our fans. So, because think about it, like I want our fans to be able to talk trash to other fans too. Like I don't want us to be saying, "Oh, well, at least we finally won a home game." No, I want us to say, "Well, we swept y'all this year.
Yeah,
we swept y'all this year. We're going to the playoffs this year. We're doing this and shit." Yeah, like I want our fans to be able to be able to talk. They talk with how they talk. You know what I'm saying? So that's also my main goal is to help the fans be able to, brag about their team and talk about their team, how they need to talk about how it used to be.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what a really good benchmark would be? Now that I'm sure you're aware that they closed off the top
they did
top of the Commonwealth Stadium. So a really good benchmark would be to see how many home games we can open that up.
Yeah.
How many, if we can bring in every single person in the city and open that up, that is a benchmark that the team is doing fantastic and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm excited. The Grey Cup is in BC this year, so we don't have to worry about no weather. And we do. Listen, however it's happening, we are inside. We are inside for the Grey Cup next year.
Yes.
I love it. Like, you're already you're thinking Grey Cup. You are speaking it into existence.
Yeah, I told VA the other day, I said, VA, listen, I know you're going to be in BC, for the game, but you're not going to be in the game. So just know, I know I'm gonna just make sure you in the suites and all that. I was talking crazy to him a couple days.
No, it's so good. It's so good. Hey man, we couldn't be more thrilled that you signed with the Edmonton Elks last year. So stoked you're still with the team. So stoked that we get to see you ball out on the turf this year. You're coming back with a vengeance. The whole team is so.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I for sure am like missing those 6 games and that being on the IR. Like a lot of people don't know how much that that puts a fire in me. Like I can't stand not being able to be out there and play for my guys. I hate losing more than I love winning. So it's for me. I'm probably one of the most elite competitors that you'll ever meet. Like that's just me. I'm a competitor. I want to win. I don't really care about anything else. Let's find a way to win, and we're gonna do what we do. So, man, go Elks, man. I'm out there. I'm ready. Y'all got me ready to go play right now.
There you go.
Hey man, you're good for the city too. By the way, Geno, I gotta say, man, you're good for the city too. Yeah. So all
Chad
around
over here, Geno sounds ready to go. So we are.
Yes, I'm ready, Chad. I'm listening. I was always taught if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's what it is. Shout out to my boy at Manny Arsenal too. You know what I'm saying? Because he stayed ready. He stayed ready to my boy.
Hard work works. That's his saying. Hard work works, baby.
Love it.
No.
Well, thank you so much once again, and we really look forward to seeing you in the field and training camp. We'll be there.
Oh, we have Geno. Do you have one more? Do you have time for one more question?
Yes, I do. Listen, I got time. Even if it's 2 more, I got time for 2 more.
You're the man. You're so awesome. Okay, Chris Agar in the chat. Geno, how is your confidence in the improved quarterback depth? We kind of just talked about that, but what's your answer there?
Yeah, it helps, man. Listen, I tell people this all the time. Having a starter and a backup is probably the most important thing on the team because your backup has to be ready just as much as your starter does. Like, and you got to understand, we got a small league in the CFL, so sometimes a lot like quarterbacks go down. Last year it was a lot of quarterbacks going down and things like that. So that backup guy needs to be ready because he has to prepare like he's a starter, like no matter what. Like we want the same confidence in that backup that we got in our starter. And the thing is, when you have that, there is no drop in anybody's game. It's just if it's this, just, we good. Everybody, nothing changes. So like I said, having veteran depth in the quarterback room, I think was a big, huge thing for our team. I think that would have went a long way last year if we were able to have it a little more. Just seeing it, I've been around a lot of older quarterbacks too, like Darian Durant, Drew Willie. Like when I was first coming in, it was a lot of older, mature, veteran guys that been in the league for a while, that been around a whole bunch of teams. So you kind of just see the difference between when you see a rookie come up and you see a veteran, and I think the best thing about for Trey too is that he's a very unique talent in the sense of he played in youth sports too. So it's like that's another reason why it's different from him and Rorik. Rorik went to the States and played college football down in the States. So like the development is a little different. It was a little more faster for Trey. He's been up here his whole career. You know what I'm saying? And just off of that little sample size that he did, you see what he could do last year. So it's just about like putting everything together. Like MBT said, making the script now for him, like scripting everything. And now it's boom, boom, boom. And now when you got to go off script, you do your magic, Trey. Do your magic, because that's what it is.
Oh, beautiful! Oh, this is
exciting.
Yeah, we all just want to get back down to Commonwealth Stadium now. This is unreal. Chris said thank you very much, Geno. Yeah, I guess we can finally let you go, Geno. We could talk forever, but man, we really hope the off season goes well for you. We can't see you. We can't wait to see you down at Commonwealth Stadium, back on the turf and training camp.
Yep.
I mean, we say hashtag is it June yet?
Yeah.
So things actually happen a little bit quicker than it appears, especially with the snow on the ground. So
yeah. For sure, man.
You know how it goes.
And shout out to McDavid, man, for the Oilers for getting his 900 career points last week. That's awesome. I ain't even gonna lie. That's a hell of an achievement, man, for what he's doing. Shout out to all.
Maybe we'll get dual cups this year.
Yeah, come on, listen. Shout out to all the Edmonton teams, the Oilers, to the Elks, to the Stingers. Do we got a soccer team?
We used to have Edmonton FC, RIP.
Okay.
They might be coming back, but either way.
But yeah, shout out to all the junior leagues out there, the football junior leagues and everything, man. Listen, everybody just keep grinding. Edmonton, let's keep growing as a city, man, and let's do big things. Let's do it. And Alberta University too. Shout out to them. Listen, they're gonna build on from next year. Last year, that was a good year, but we're gonna build on it next year.
Vanier coming up, hopefully. Yeah, Cordy Crew, all those guys.
That's so close.
Well, we can't thank you enough, man. And we'll see you soon, Geno.
We'll see you
all right, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. God bless you, and have a good night.
You as well, man. Go Elks.
All right, go Elks.
So,
all right.
Geno's an awesome guy. Thanks again, Geno, once again for coming on the show. That was amazing. That was a great chat. Thanks everybody for getting in the herd chat. Thanks for asking questions. This was great.
Yeah,
awesome.
We still have half a show to go, so don't leave yet.
We have such a stacked show today. This is a huge one. It's season 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, going forward, when we do manage to get somebody from the organization or a little bit of a bigger interview, we're going to be doing the interview in the front end. So then that way you guys can get your questions in a little bit easier. We're not eating up our guest time, because some of this, it can go a little bit longer than expected. Like that Geno combo, we know he's a really busy guy. So it was really great that he could jump on for, almost 45 minutes here. So huge shout out to Hernan and the Edmonton Elks as well for making that happen.
Thank you.
All righty. Next up, we have the Edmonton Sports update by Len. Today's update is brought to you by Off the Reins podcast. Built by Bama, OTR covers Birmingham's biggest sports teams, including the 2023 USFL champions, the Birmingham Stallions. Catch Off the Reins exclusively on Shotgun Sports Network by the Stallion Stampede. The Spruce Grove Saints start off the hockey happenings tonight in front of a home crowd that last saw them shellac the Oil Barons 7-0. The Saints then go on a 5-game road trip. The Edmonton Oil Kings play their first home game of 2024 on Thursday night. Then on Sunday, the King in Oil Kings gets emphasized as Elvis will presumably be in the building.
The puns.
The 6th-ranked team in the CJHL will host the 2nd-ranked team on Saturday when the Sherwood Park Crusaders host the Brooks Bandits. The Crew then play the team currently ranked last on the AJHL on Sunday when Olds comes to town. For more of what's happening in Edmonton sports world, check out Len's articles on shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. We are the Elks Herd. You're up to date. And then 2024 affiliates. Oh, we got a new code. Ladies and gentlemen, we have re-upped with our good friends over at Royal Retros. We are using code Shotgun Sports for 10% off over at royalretros.com. They got throwback Elks jerseys, Eskimos, Elks double E. They also have throwback Winnipeg, throwback every team in the CFL, really, throwback NFL, throwback USFL. They got it all. For a good throwback, it's Royal Retros. Head on over. Still, we're going to give a little shout out over to thingsengraved.ca, who is still our official merchandise partner of Shotgun Sports Network and the Elks Herd. Thingsengraved.ca, head over to the locker room and you will find the Elks Herd and Shotgun Sports in there.
Yeah.
As well, lather. You can't forget about the lather. I'm sweating in here right now, and I'm going to need a shower. I'm going to be going over to lather. Use Shotgun Sports 15 to get 15% off over at Things Engraved. Over at... I was a little automatic there, but over at lather.com. Lather. Yeah. We were talking, yeah. I was thinking about Things Engraved for a while today. It's because I need to go make an order.
Yes.
Alrighty then. Kathy,
yes.
You have some transactions.
I do. Let's talk about Elks now. Let's switch it around and let's go back to some of those transactions that we saw last week, really. Yeah, it's been a week. Holy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week. It's been a pretty crazy week.
And the sad part is that there's still a lot more to come. I think I was seeing that there's still 11.
So there's still 11 free agents to go. We call this the calling week of the herd. The Elks Call. Not call. It's the Elks Call of these 2 weeks. So
no kidding.
I know we just mentioned Taylor Cornelius earlier on the show with Geno Lewis, but please give us
let's go back. Let's start from the beginning.
I knew it was going to be one a day too. I knew they were going to do one a day because you don't want to release everybody all at once. You kind of do a slow trickle, but
yes,
so you
that's
know.
exactly. No, they know exactly what they're doing, and now they're just, like you say, trickling it. January 3rd, we had American wide receiver Stephen Dunbar Jr. released, which is a big one. It's a really big one.
Well, and that one sucks. Do you want to talk about these a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Okay, so Stephen Dunbar Jr., he was released. He did not perform up to the contract, and then I want to say there was also once again a signing bonus.
Yeah, we're going to hear the word. It was a small one. It was a small signing bonus, but it was still a signing bonus.
We're going to hear the signing bonus piece a couple of times here, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
the January 4th, we had American defensive back Aaron Grimes released, which sad. but expected in many ways. Like, I really, that one sucks. That one really hurt in many ways. I mean, I've only been a known fan of this team. I'm a fan of this team for the past 3 years. And out of those 3 years, Aaron Grimes was always a highlight. Even though for the majority of those 3 years, Aaron Grimes was injured, he was still a highlight because he was in every single event and tailgates, in charity events, in schools, everywhere that you would go, and he would try his best to be part of the community. And, I've seen that before. James Wilder Jr. was really big in the community as well. And not saying anything about any of the other players because they do so as well, but there was something about Grimes and his passion for the community and what he brought to the team. And it's really, really sad to see that go. I understand it from a business point of view. Still sad.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating. He obviously, he's been a little bit injured over the years, and the contract at some point, right? It's the contract, the age, and then do you want to make gamble? And unfortunately, you can't really pay for a player ambassador like that. Same deal, like you said, James Wilder Jr. Kind of went through a similar scenario. Now, Aaron Grimes does not have a career-ending injury, so that's the difference there. But what you will find is that Aaron Grimes may not make it back onto the field this year. We're obviously hoping that he does. We player first. We're
and he wants to play.
He wants to play.
100% wants to play.
He's living in Edmonton. He's living in Canada. He's basically a Canadian at this point, and he should be playing. The CFL is better when Aaron Grimes is playing. We really hope he gets healthy. And John said it here as well. Aaron Grimes needs to do something with the team as a staff member, right?
Well, I did see that he does want to play at least another year.
One more year, yeah. He wants to go out on his own terms.
He wants to be a player and leave as a player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if after that year he does come back to Edmonton and some sort of maybe coaching position. Might be for the Elks, maybe not. It might not be.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's sad because I wish that would be here. But clearly, with the big signing that we just had, moves had to be made.
Yeah.
So, that being said, January 5th, we had National Defensive Lineman Cole Nelson. He was signed.
Re-signed.
Yeah, he was
big
re-signed.
one. Big one.
And, of course, on January 7th, we had American quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
MBT. MBT.
See, that's going to be another one that I'm going to butcher every single time.
It's okay, then. You got this.
We'll talk about that one here in the first fan forum question. So let's go directly to January 9th. We had American quarterback Taylor Cornelius and national linebacker Adam Konar released.
Yeah. So,
what are your thoughts on that?
Taylor Cornelius, it really sucks that this situation played out this way. I mean, as soon as the season was over, you had to know that Taylor Cornelius was not going to make the 2024 roster. There's about a 1% chance. The reason for that is actually his signing bonus. The worst part about this is that the bonus, not the signing bonus, but the roster bonus.
Yeah.
Now, the roster bonus, the Edmonton Elks still have to pay. So the Edmonton Elks, they only save his base salary for the season, because it was guaranteed.
But why is it that everybody's saying online in the media, Twitter, X, whatever, that they needed to make space to pay for?
So his base salary, whatever wasn't guaranteed, can still be saved off the books for Taylor Cornelius. Okay. Some money that. Sure, some of it is guaranteed. The $100,000 is guaranteed.
Yeah.
But there's other parts to that contract that they still don't have to pay for now.
Oh, interesting. I have seen the opposite going around. Online.
Dave Campbell. Yeah. Shout out to Dave Campbell. Yeah. I retweeted it multiple times at the Elks Herd, our platform. So I will forward this one to you. Anyways, but yeah, so because I got corrected on that. Yeah. I thought that we were gonna save that $100,000 on the Edmonton Elks side. No, we got to pay it. So Adam Konar, I believe his was around like $17,000.
Right.
His was like super low. Adam Konar, he he's on a he didn't have a good year last year. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say he's on a decline, but I'm gonna say that he wasn't
For
a
what
top performer last year.
for the paycheck he was getting, it was not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you'll find once again with a lot of these cuts.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why these players get released is, are you worth the signing?
Yes.
Or sorry, not the signing, the roster bonus. Are you
Mhm.
worth the roster bonus? The reason why this is weird for me, and the reason why I keep saying signing, is because generally guaranteed money is in signing bonuses. So it's usually not in roster bonuses where you have guaranteed money.
Right.
It's a really contract structures are changing as the years are going on.
Yeah.
So it is very interesting for that, I will say.
And I mean, we talked about that before, and I think we did mention that the only way that we saw Taylor Cornelius staying is if he took a pay cut. Right,
Mhm.
simple as that. Whereas he probably would have stayed as a QB3, short yardage,
But you're still
and
it's
need
still
a pay cut.
that's still an overpay though for a
Yeah,
backup. Like
That's true.
your backup quarterbacks
That's
in the
true.
CFL make like what, 75 to 100K tops.
Right.
Your starters in the CFL make between 250 and 500K. So when Michael Riley signed over in BC, he signed that $500,000 contract, and everybody lost it. And then Bo Levi Mitchell ended up signing his down in Calgary, and his was also like $500,000.
Yeah.
So when those pair of $500,000 contracts went out, that set the standard for like how much money you can make as a quarterback. Which means your backup has to make significantly less than that. So
Yeah.
that's where I range that in the 100,000
Yeah.
tops.
So you know what? It probably was best for Cornelius as well.
It
It
well,
really
he
is.
walks away with guaranteed money, so
Yes.
it's a very good situation for Taylor Cornelius. Still,
Yeah.
still now as a player and as a competitor, no, it's not the greatest.
Well, who did I see? Who did I see mentioning that? And it was on X. So I am on X once in a while. Is that
not at the Elks.
Taylor Cornelius will probably get an offer for a short yardage position somewhere else. For
He
sure.
did a lot better than Kyle Loxley. I mean, you know,
somebody.
hate to,
I think it was Dave Campbell that said, maybe Winnipeg. Maybe Winnipeg.
Maybe
So.
I saw somebody had mentioned BC, but because Dane Evans is no longer playing as backup. Dane Evans retired. So Taylor Cornelius, I think BC would actually be a really good fit for him.
Maybe.
Like, you know, what happens if Vernon Adams Jr. goes down? Well, Taylor Cornelius still knows how to use his legs.
He's a good backup. He's a really good backup.
You know what? He's a decent quarterback. I'm not going to say good quarterback because there's that elite part that you're missing, right?
Well,
but he's a decent quarterback. He can easily fill a role, and depending on the offensive line, he could probably do great at starting as well.
Well, and that's why I say he's a good backup, because he seems to crumble on pressure, right? So but when it comes to, the pressure is off a little bit and he's filling in a role, then he truly seems like he puts it all on the line and he really goes out there and has fun and does what it needs to be done. So he is a really good backup, I think. And really, when it comes to it, is probably best case scenario for him.
Yeah.
So, John, to answer your question of what do you think fans are leaving the team because of the cut of Taylor Cornelius?
No.
I really do think that they should be thinking a little bit better about the situation. If he stayed, he would be in a really crappy situation. Most likely a pay cut, a position that is not. I mean, when you have two starter quarterbacks, really, with Trey Ford and MBT, that leaves no room for anybody else unless they get injured. And at least this way, he gets his guaranteed money, not that I know, and he has the opportunity of perhaps a better position with better pay. So people shouldn't be mad at it. People should just understand that it's a business, it's a game, and things happen, and it's unfortunate, of course, but this is probably win-win for everybody.
Well, and with every player that moves on under good circumstances, with every player that moves on from the Double E, we wish them the best. As a fan, I think it's kind of what Geno was talking about. What Geno was just talking about, right? These players stew all off season to bring glory back to the city. Like, that's wild. Geno is such a competitor that he was stewing all off season, and now he's going to do his off season program. Going to train up and get ready. He let his body rest, obviously, for a bit, but we forget that this is a year-long job for these guys too, and all of that for 10 games at home in front of your fans, and then of course 10 games away, right? So yeah, there's always going to be an influx of fans coming in and out of the organization cheering for other teams. Whatever, that doesn't, I think what matters is wins. I'm gonna say right now, what matters is wins and Trey Ford's development. We got Brett Boyko ended up. If you want to do this last signing
the
here,
last one, January 10th.
we got to get into this fan forum. I'm all heated up.
That's today. We signed National Offensive Lineman Brett Boyko and American defensive back Donnie Lewis Jr. They were signed.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely see a whole bunch more transactions coming up. I'm sure it's going to be weird next little bit.
It is
exactly where that's going to go. I mean, we have a lot of what ifs right now. There's still, like we said, 11 free agents that we don't know what's going to happen. We've seen some speculation, some thoughts. One of them being Manny Arsenault.
Yeah. There's a couple of suspicions on players that may not be returning next season. Obviously, it's not our job to panic anybody, but we also have to report what we see on X and these social media platforms. And Manny Arsenault has Let's get into this fan forum, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. This is our final segment. This is our final segment today. This is the fan forum where we talk about hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks and the sports world as a whole. Our live listeners can participate by getting their comments in the herd chat, and we will get those comments onto the show. Warts, that's good. Warts world. Wart is something, isn't that like for beer and stuff? Yeah, that is. That's the top of the. Anyways, so guys, question number one here. Question number one, it has to do with roster. The Edmonton Elks recently acquired journeyman championship quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson for the cost of potentially around $500K. Some fans believe that Trey Ford will leave next year because of this move, while others believe it is a good move for his development as a young quarterback. What say you? What say you? What do you make of this new situation? What do you think? What do you think? Well, and we talked about it a bit.
Yes, and I'm just going to go back to John's comment over here saying that fans are upset that Ford is the backup, but he was the reason that people showed up last season, which I agree. But the thing about Ford, and we've talked about it plenty in the last season 1 of the Elks Call, is that he is a young athlete. He is a young quarterback. And how many times do we make that reference that he needed a mentor, that he needed a Michael Riley, that he needed that kind of situation for him to get a better understanding of the plays and, just get that veteran's point of view that has been in the game for long enough to know exactly, to be able to give that knowledge. I mean, when they signed MBT, I'm not going to lie, and I think I made that comment, is like, oh, that's a very expensive coach position. I mean, obviously he's going to be starter quarterback and he's definitely going to play, but the main reason why I see him coming to the Elks, and he has mentioned it too, is because he wants to be a mentor to Trey Ford. He wants to be able to guide him and show him the ropes and train him in a way that it will increase the development, right? It will develop Trey's forward play. So to close off my argument is, if Trey Ford knows what's best for him, he will stay with the Edmonton Elks, because this is an opportunity that not a lot of quarterbacks get. And he needs the development. He needs more time. He showed so many fantastic plays, but he still shows some really crappy plays that, everybody had that what the hell is he doing kind of moments, right? And those are, you can only get better with practice, and you can only get better if you have somebody guiding you and how to be better. So,
Yeah, well,
that's
and
my
I mean, Ryan Messer here said MBT is a proven leader.
Mhm.
If you ever wanted someone for Ford to train under, it is MBT. And I think what's interesting about that is if you had actually listened, I don't know, did you actually check out the MBT
a
presser?
little bit of it.
You
Yeah.
did. Did you hear the part where he said he wanted to come in? He immediately called Trey Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did
So
see
you.
that.
So yeah, you heard all the. Okay. Good.
Mhm.
Right on.
Mhm. But he
So
let him, show his frustrations. So
yeah.
that shows that Trey Ford is indeed frustrated
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
That
Let's.
shows that Trey Ford indeed has some issues.
Yeah.
But, MBT, like the leader he is, just let him air out his frustrations, and then, made it clear that he's not coming for Trey's Ford job.
Yeah. Trey Ford's job. Well, and no, you're right, and that's good, right? And he said he wants to provide that mentorship, but also get a ring. Wants to come in and get a ring. So you have a competitor spirit. You have somebody that wants to be a mentor, somebody that understands that there's already a guy in charge. And you know what? I'm really, really thankful that Geno Lewis talked about that tonight. His experience in Montreal, and I never even thought about it, but he was indeed in the middle of the exact same scenario. And I believe in that moment, you were watching Trevor Harris. We shipped him off over to Montreal, and that's
Yeah.
all of a sudden Geno Lewis
Yeah.
had to catch passes from Trevor Harris. So in all of that, Geno Lewis has been through this scenario before.
Yes.
It's great that you have guys that have been in that scenario to be able to talk through both sides. And
Yeah.
Vernon Adams Jr., he had his team taken away from him. He was I want to say, I forget the exact scenario. Is either obviously underperforming or he's injured. I want to say it was an injury, and then he came back, and Trevor Harris was playing good. That
Right.
kind of scenario happens. I don't know. I don't watch the Alouettes that closely. I don't care about the Alouettes. They're all the way over in the East. But what I will say is that those scenarios happen, and the team supporting the quarterback room just has to be there for whoever's slanging the
Right.
freaking ball. Really.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
It's a job. It's a job. Right? Regardless.
No, you're right. You're right. Over here in the herd chat, John, I heard Ford was not consulted on this signing. Is this true?
Why should he be?
Why should he be? So
That's not. I mean, we've seen it before, right? We've seen it in the NFL. Oh wow, I just blanked on his name. Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
And
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Thank you. It was going to be the other big deal over there.
Well,
right, that they absolutely have to be consulted before any major moves happen. But they also look at how much they get paid.
How much do they get paid, and also where are they at in their careers?
Yes,
we have to
very
remember
much so.
this as well. Okay, so I was in we're gonna actually bring up a clip from the head coaches conference from the winter meetings, the winter meetings, but we call it they're down. It is the winter meetings for the CFL. It has to be. But anyways, we have a clip there in those winter meetings with Chris Jones. He had mentioned that Trey Ford was not consulted in the signing. A player should not be unless they are in the position of being an elite player. And even in that scenario, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are not going to be getting pushed to back up on any team.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So really, as far as a player being consulted, I do think that is absolutely asinine that anybody would think that Trey Ford would be consulted.
No.
Why?
I mean, the only situation that I would see a quarterback being consulted for anything is, say, a receiver.
Yeah.
Or somebody that they will play
Sure,
one-on-one, that their teammates, that they get to see their plays, they get to see the film and be like, you know what, that looks like a really good player.
But
I
he-
could
but
have
he-
chemistry with that. But it would be a consultation. It would be a conversation. It wouldn't be a you either get him or I don't play or anything like that.
But
There's no need for
but
that.
even then, for a lot of the roster stuff, it's players don't have to be involved.
No.
The only scenario, I'll give you an example. I can't stand the Boston Bruins. I hate the Boston Bruins. They suck. I don't care if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, oh, but I'm a big Bruins fan. Hey, well then, hopefully you're an Elks fan. Anyways, I can't stand the Boston Bruins, but they ended up signing, the organization signed somebody. This is like to the extent where players do not get consulted.
Mhm.
And they signed this, what was it, Mitchell Miller, I want to say, that weird scenario where this kid had a big offense, pretty gruesome. He picked on a kid and it was like, really brutal and everything else. So anyways, the Bruins ended up signing him on. The locker room stepped up
Yeah.
and said, we don't support the organization and them signing this guy. And so that's to the degree of there. That's how little consultation
Yeah.
ever happens. Why? Because it's a business. The GM and the head coach, and we're actually going to get into this. This
Do you
segues
think
in.
McDavid gets consulted?
I can't speak on that. I
Oh,
have no
that's true.
idea. I have no
No,
idea.
but just like a question, like, because it's true. I mean, when it comes to a player, you're there to play. That's your job.
Yeah.
Your job is not to pick other players or decide who's going to play or not.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we're talking about elite players, that's why McDavid came to mind, because he is in that position.
Well, elite players,
Right?
Aaron Rodgers single-handedly fired Mike McCarthy. When you have a player that has that much influence, it is no longer a team sport. I mean, Ryan
Yeah.
Messer is.
That's very true.
This guy is a Vikings fan in the chat right now. Ryan Messer, I'm exposing you on being a Vikings fan. But that being said, you know what? You're not wrong. And in those scenarios, I mean, with NHL, I honestly do not know. I can't speak on anything NHL, but when it comes to the NFL, the pay is extremely different. The pay is way more extensive over in the NFL. So,
well, let's
you have
say,
guys making $50 million a year.
Matthews in Toronto. Do you think he has?
He doesn't make $50 million a year. Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers
that's
does.
true. So even then, I really, when it comes to NHL or anything, I really don't think that the players should have any say in who gets hired or not. Simple as that.
No, but
I really don't think that they have to, because that's not their position.
No, but like, speaking of jobs and head coach and GM and those relations to the players, and let's say even their relations to the organization. Fan forum question number 2. After the Edmonton Elks, after the 75th season, which is the 2024 season, they're potentially selling the team, which means they need wins right now. They need wins right now more than ever. So that being said, we were in the head coach meetings, and we asked Chris Jones if the 75th season meant anything more to him as a head coach, or if it's business as usual. Here's a clip.
If I said that it mattered more, that means that the others didn't matter as much as what they should have, right? So anytime in pro football, man, is you take the field. Doesn't matter what week it is. I mean, they're all extremely important. Certainly, with it being the 75th, I mean, it's a milestone for our organization. So certainly, we want to win. There's no doubt.
Obviously, the Elks signed McLeod.
So yeah, I mean, we won't do the whole conference, but yeah, that was our question, Chris Jones. Obviously, as head coach and GM, it's his job to win every season and every game. We get that, but John did actually ask the question in the herd chat here, what's going to happen with Chris Jones if he does not perform well this season, especially up to his contract and up to the pride of the green and gold, what it means to this city. It's over the last 3 years. We're running out of chances to bring glory back, right? So
Jones is what's that saying? Dead man hanging or something?
Dead
like
man
that?
walking.
Dead man walking.
Dead man walking, yeah.
Right.
So can this team survive another losing season? And really, Chris Jones, can he survive another losing season?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, everybody's just calling for his neck right now. as it is. They have been for the past, 2 years, really. And how long is his contract? Is it?
Well, his contract, I want to say he has one more year after this season. So this is
Right.
his third season he's going into. He signed a 4-year contract. So,
Right.
and remember, the problem with the 4-year contract
Yes.
is the fact that we are tied to it. So,
Yes.
and like, this is the part of the question that is like so fluid.
Mm-hmm.
The Edmonton Elks would be on the hook for his salary. We would be penalized in whatever way if
Mhm.
we go over the operations cap.
Right.
We just cleared some salaries off. We still, I don't know if we're 100% in the clear. I don't believe we are, but we may be.
I mean, I think it really depends, because there's a difference between going, 8-0 or 0-8, like just a completely losing season, no wins at home,
mhm.
than having some wins and still losing the season.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a big difference between just completely bombing the season and giving it a really good effort, seeing some really good games, seeing some wins, seeing an improvement from last year, but yet still losing the season.
But
right?
this team is seeing low lows though. This is
Yeah.
the thing. Last year we saw the lowest of lows. I think it might have been the lowest point of the organization in 74
Yeah.
years. If the
Yes.
Edmonton Elks have another losing season, that's now considered the lowest point in 75.
Right.
Like that's and with selling the team, and John asked in the herd chat here, but who do you think is going to buy the team? The team is obviously for sale. This is the other moving piece, and I can't speak, right? We have nothing to do with the office of the Edmonton Elks. We don't know a single thing that happens behind the closed doors. We're media, so we get the same information that everybody else
Yes.
does. But the sale price on this team, if the team loses, it ain't worth nothing.
No.
And the Elks aren't going to want to sell it with a massive loss on their heads unless it means that they're hemorrhaging money to the point where
No.
they need an investor to buy it.
No, if they're gonna sell, it's gonna be this year.
Well,
I
it'd
think
be after the season.
Really? Not
Well,
even for this season?
How are you
Because we have
how
an
you going to sell
interim.
this team right now? Who are
No,
you going
but
to sell?
that's what I say. If they lose, I don't know.
You
It's just
can't
like
sell a team in the middle of a season.
No, but there's people that are looking to buy
Rick Lawlisher is staying on for the rest of the year to
for the
see
rest of the
through.
year.
Yeah, he's staying on for 2024 to see through the sale. So it will be after the season. So this season you have to win in order to make it happen.
Right.
Ryan Messer in the chats, in the herd chat. Spoiler alert: Redbird Capital buys them and adds them to the UFL,
Can
and
you
we'll have a
imagine?
CFL division.
Can you imagine? Oh,
That'd
that'd be brutal.
a
Well,
failed XFL 4.
I think for myself, the best case scenario that I could see for somebody buying the team is an alumni group, or like a group of
Are you talking
yeah,
about the Garrett Jones group?
Yeah.
You think those guys?
Yeah, I would say so, because they have been there, done that. They understand the game. They understand the fans. They understand what needs to be done.
But do they have the business knowledge? And this is good that we're talking about it right now, because Garrett Jones, we've been in contact. In 2 weeks,
Yes.
We will be having former NFL player and former Edmonton Eskimo, Double E.
Listen, I will donate $50 to the cause for them to buy this.
Here's my investment. Call me part owner. I'm part owner. Well, you know what? Public shares has worked great for the Green Bay
Yes.
Packers. I
Yeah.
wish I was a Packers owner.
Well, but wouldn't that be no, it's not community owned, because
That's public
shares,
owned.
That is
That's public
yes.
owned. That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
do shares. I don't know.
Why wouldn't they just? Why wouldn't they
get
just?
a business consultant for all I care?
That's true.
But
That's true.
that for me would be like a breath of fresh air, or like John says here, Daryl buys the team. Kate's buys a team and then sells them to Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, that wouldn't be a really good,
No, we don't.
exhibit in Disney.
No, and we don't want that. We don't want
Yeah.
that to happen. Each season ticket should include partial ownership in the franchise. Who knows? I mean, maybe if you bought a season ticket and you pitch in an extra,
Yeah, you get some shares.
$500 or something,
No,
then
it's you get some options. You
yeah.
get some options if you purchase, and when the team makes it big and wins a Grey Cup, you get a little bit of a cut.
Hey, it could be an idea. I think there's a lot, but I'm really interested. Garrick Jones is going to be joining the herd on our next episode in 2 weeks. So, little programming change. Let's talk about that real quick
Right.
before we hop on off. But Shotgun Sports Network, you guys have obviously heard us talking about that. That's where we air the Elks Call. We're also over at Shotgun Sports now airing the Winnipeg Terminal alongside Off the Reins podcast. So we have 3 shows over there. Definitely swing on over Shotgun Sports Network. Please hook us up with a like and a subscribe. We're still on a drive to 500. We're still going to give away a jersey when we hit 500.
Mhm.
Just not getting there as fast as we thought.
That's YouTube.
YouTube. So every 2 weeks we're going to be doing our show. We will not be weekly in the off season.
Mhm.
The reason for that, part of that is Shotgun Sports. That does take a little bit of our time, but more importantly, we want to be able to give you guys a good show. When we get a lot of information in 2 weeks in an off season,
Yeah.
then that's great. When nothing's happening in the off season and we're trying to be here every week,
It's hard.
it's a little bit trickier, and we go pretty hard in when we're in season, so we'd like to take it a little bit easy in the off season. And the Turf District, they've been doing the every 2 week thing as well. So shout out to our friends over at the Turf District, Mike, Andrew, and Kayla. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be back in 2 weeks from now with Garrick Jones on the show, and we're gonna talk about that ownership piece. We're gonna talk about what him and Calvin McCarty. You can maybe get a hold of Calvin McCarty, see if he wants to get on too. I don't know. Maybe we'll reach out. Calvin, if you're listening, give us a show. But
hit us up. Big question.
Big question from Big Fan.
Yes. How many drafts have you made up for the tailgate? I'll tell you. It's smoked something and smoked something and smoked something and maybe hot dogs.
What was it that we smoked recently and we're like, this is perfect for tailgate? What was it?
I don't know. You smoke a lot of things.
Yeah.
Ribs? Well,
no, it wasn't ribs.
No, that'd be too hard.
Either way, we will be finalizing that. I want to say that's going to be closer to March.
Yeah.
I got to pick out a meat menu. Herdy's is going to be smoking the meats for 2024. We're also in cahoots with somebody for some sweet merchandise coming up. Top secret project. I'll give you a hint. It's K and it's a G. There's only 2 letters that I can hint you with. It's a K and it's a G, and it's going to be a huge deal at Lot 44 this season, 2024, the 75th double E season.
That's exciting.
Oh, it's going to be huge, and the reason why we're doing this, it's going to be a super limited merch run. It's going to be a series. It's going to be limited though. We're going to have a different couple items there, but a K and a G. And that's all I can tell you. The Elks have a new hat with the big double E logo on it. It looks like the vintage logo. I'll have to check it out, John. Please, if you have that picture, throw it our way over at the Elks. Obviously, we will always give you some credit, or please tag us in it on X. That works as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. We knew this was going to be a big one today. We knew it was an absolutely stacked show, and we knew we were going to have a blast with everybody today. So big shout out to everybody that was a part of our season premiere today. Geno Lewis, what an awesome guy. We could have talked all night. Thank you so much, Geno, for joining the herd tonight. Big shout out to you, the viewer and the listener. Whether you're watching on Shotgun Sports Network or listening on Edmonton Sports Talk, TuneIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a Weird AM radio signal, no matter where. Thank you so much for tuning in to season 2 of the Elks Call. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Scout, aka the Rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Do Even Elks.
We are the Elks Herd. This was the Elks Call, and we are out of here. Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
Bye.